Oh, by the way, you guys, I should have said this at the beginning of the video, but I am looking for hair models. Okay, well, let me say that at the end. Okay, so basically over direction means summertime, and the living's easy. Rallies on the microphone with sound. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you have never seen me before in your entire life, my name is Brittney Gray. I'm co-owner and stylist at COSMETOLOGY Salon. I get so many questions about what to do with thin hair, okay? Tips on styling thin hair, haircuts, etc., etc. General hair care for thin hair. I feel like this is one of my most requested topics aside from anything having to do with like curly hair or frizzy hair. So I've compiled a list of my top 5 tips for thin hair, and then I am gonna give you guys a bonus tip at the end. So it's kind of like 6 tips, but I just feel like 5 sounds better. Like, I don't know, I'm like, in my head I just feel like it has to be like 5, 10, 15, 20 as opposed to like 8 tips or 6 tips, you know? So that's what we're gonna do today. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please take a moment to subscribe. Just hit the button down below and then hit the little bell symbol so that way you don't miss a video. And then also, if I'm not here, I'm on Instagram and I am also on Facebook. I have a hair group called Hair Culture. You can go there, you can post your questions about hair, and it's just like a big, amazing, I wonder if it's like the #1 hair group yet on Facebook. I don't think it's the #1 hair group. Maybe in my head it is, but we're gonna get there, okay? We're gonna get there one day, and like, it's really, really cool. So join that after watching this video. The links to everything will be down below. So without further ado, let's get into it now. Before I actually get into the tips for thin hair, I did want to talk about what exactly does it mean to have thin hair. So I've explained to you guys before the difference between hair textures. I have a video on that. Link will be down below. Whether you have fine hair, coarse hair. So if you take an actual strand of your hair and it's very, very thin, that means it's fine. But you can have coarse hair but have what's called thin hair. But in the cosmetology world, we are referring to what is called hair density. So hair density is the amount of hair follicles and therefore hair that you have on your head. You guys know I had to make a little handy dandy drawing here. So this is supposed to be like a screenshot of like an up close view of the scalp. Hope that like is gonna translate well. Don't pay attention to the scalp colors because I started to run out of like the skin colored marker here. But basically, yes, so here are examples of thin hair, normal density, and thick density, or high density, low density, normal. Okay, so as you can see here, if you like zoom in a little bit, you can see that the scalp shows on thin hair there's just not as many hair follicles. The little black dots are hair follicles and therefore hair. Normal density, we have a little bit more dots there, or hair follicles, therefore more hair. High density or thick hair, you're gonna have more hair follicles and therefore more hair. So I just want to clarify that because sometimes people think, like for instance, for like my hair, I have very, very fine hair, like fine strands, but I have a lot of hair. So I wouldn't be considered somebody who has thin hair. So that's what we mean by thin hair. And thinning can just be like, it can be caused by medical issues, but then also it's just hereditary most of the time. And I'm not going to address anything medical because if you're dealing with something medically that is causing your hair to thin, then you want to see a doctor, not a hairstylist, because there's only so much that we can do in the salon. So today we are going to address thin hair or low density just by nature. It's just your genetics, right? You can't have it all, okay, ladies? You cannot have it all. I'm sure whoever, if you're watching this video and you have thin hair, I'm sure you have other features on your head or your body, your face, whatever, that are amazing. You can't have it all, unfortunately. If only we could, okay? However, I am going to teach you how to make the most out of your hair. So that brings me to tip number 1. Believe it or not, with thinner hair, you want to cut it shorter, but not too short. So there's kind of like a sweet spot with thin hair. Like I personally like to keep thin hair when I have clients who have more thin hair. I like to keep their hair about like, it depends on each individual, but I feel like for the most part it's gonna fall about here or even shorter, okay? But not like a super short pixie cut, because then when you go all the way like a little bit too short with thin hair, then you start to look bald because you don't have enough hair to kind of cover your scalp. So if you get a pixie cut, and then you're more likely to see your scalp if you have very thin hair. But the shorter, the better, basically. I feel like, I mean, I have a theory. I have a personal theory on hair. So I have a theory, and this may be true, but just in my head, right? I have a theory that humans, like, we're kind of like dogs, right? And I feel like certain humans, just like certain dogs or certain dog breeds, like, their coats come in different lengths. Do you know what I mean? Like some dogs can only grow their hair to a certain length, and some dogs like grow like super long hair. And I feel like certain humans, I feel like as people, like there are certain lengths that a lot of us get to where we just can't go past it. Like my like max length, for instance, is like maybe here, and then it's like starting to like struggle. Like I have to really not touch my hair in order for it to get to a certain length. And in fact, I just got my hair cut recently, and like she cut way too much off, but I love her in case she's watching. However, I looked in the mirror and I was like, I ain't got no hair no more. But anyway, that's like me totally going off on a tangent. But the point that I'm trying to make is that yes, you want to keep the hair shorter, but not too short. Okay, so the reason why I was bringing up different people have different lengths where they kind of max out is I feel like sometimes in our heads, right, like you may be watching this and you have thin hair and you dream of having long luscious hair, but like unfortunately anything's possible. I believe in miracles. However, chances are you won't ever have that naturally. Unfortunately, like I said, you can't have it all, like, and sometimes we just have to face reality, okay? And I feel like sometimes, like, I'll get a client who has, like, really thin hair, and she's like, oh my gosh, please don't cut a lot, like, just only cut a little bit, and then it's perpetually at the same length, or even, like, sometimes they come in months later, and it's even shorter, all due to breakage, because their hair just gets to a certain length, and it just looks like, it's just, like, trying to choose my words carefully, but sometimes it just looks very like the word witchy comes to my head. You know, it just looks very like scraggly. It's like, what's the point? It's just like super thin. Like it's better, I'm telling you, it is better to have like a shorter haircut that actually looks good as opposed to like holding on to like the delusion of like having long luscious hair. It is just not in the cards for some of us, okay? You also have to look at the bright side of your hair texture, and the bright side of having thin hair. Like if you can like rock like a short bob like that, like think of the bright side. Like your hair is kind of low maintenance because you can just like blow dry it super quick. Like you can do like a nice blowout very quickly, as opposed to if you have like really long hair. So embrace your features, embrace your individual hair characteristics. Moving on to tip number 2. This is going along with haircuts. Tip number 2 is to cut layers in your hair. So this is another thing. I feel like sometimes I get clients who, again, they struggle with like really thin hair that they're trying desperately to hold on to, and they're like, no layers, because like they feel like leaving their hair with like no layers at all, it's kind of like a security blanket in a way, right? It's kind of like a security blanket because you feel like your hair feels fuller, maybe thicker when you don't have layers. But the thing is, you guys, layers are your best friend, okay? Because layers create volume. So when you style your hair, when you blow out your hair, you're gonna have more volume, you're gonna have more movement, you're gonna have more style options, as opposed to when your hair is just like all one length. If it's thin especially, like you're gonna start looking like bald at the top. Your hair is gonna be super flat, and then no matter what you do, no matter how you blow dry it with a round brush, no matter how you curl it, it is always going to fall flat. I'm telling you guys, if you get layers, your curls will hold better, your blowouts will be stronger, more voluminous. Like your hair is just gonna like be 10 times better. Trust me, okay? So don't be afraid of the layers. Layers are your best friend. Tip number 3 is to use volumizing shampoos and styling products. In general, we should all be using products that are aimed toward our specific hair type or our hair goal. So this is especially true with more thin hair or low density hair. You want to use products that are formulated for your hair type. So My personal favorite line ever is the Kevin Murphy plumping line, and also the Kevin Murphy anti-gravity line for his styling products, okay? I'm filming this at home, so I don't have any on hand to show you, but I'll put pictures like here. This is a professional line, of course. Like, hello, I'm a professional. I'm gonna recommend professional products that are amazing. You guys, like, honestly, I've been using, that's all I use now at my salon is Kevin Murphy. Hashtag not sponsored, but Kevin Murphy, holler at your girl, okay? Like, I would love to work with you guys because I just love the entire line. And on top of, there's just a little bit of something for everybody. And on top of that, just the fragrances of his products are just like amazing. But my favorite line, I think, of everything is his anti-gravity line, and then his plumping wash and rinse. That's like the best shampoo and conditioner that I've personally used for volume. But if you're watching this and you happen to have thin hair, and if you have used a product or a shampoo or anything like that that has worked amazingly for you, then please, I encourage you to leave it in a comment down below, because that's what we're all here for, right? This is a community and we all need to help each other. And then also sometimes, like, I want you guys to share products with me that I would like to try myself or on clients. So yes, again, use products that are formulated for your hair texture. So you want to use oh my gosh, this one product by Kevin Murphy. It is his oil-free volumizer, anti-gravity oil-free volumizer balm. Like, amazing. I use that like all the time with all my blowouts. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves that product line. And you want to use just like mousses and volumizing things like that for when you blow dry your hair. Another amazing product is something else that I've shared on this channel before, and that is the Amika Undone Texture Spray. That spray, I swear, it doubles the amount of hair that you have. I don't know the science behind it, but it gives that illusion of having just bigger hair in a good way. Tip number 4, speaking of styling, you want to over direct when you are styling your hair. So what is over direction? Okay, so I'm not sure if I've made a video on this or not. I'm sometimes you guys, I talk about hair so much that I forget if I've said this to a client in real life or if I've made a video on this. And if I have made a video on this, I'll leave it down below. So over direction means that, okay. Oh, by the way, you guys, I should have said this at the beginning of the video, but I am looking for hair models. Okay, well, let me say that at the end. Okay, so basically over direction means when you're styling your hair, you could either flip your head upside down and blow dry your hair. If your head's flipped upside down, you're going to blow dry your hair going straight up. So that when you flip it back, you're going to have a little bit of lift, a little bit of volume. Same thing, even if you happen to be watching this and you don't necessarily have thin hair, but your hair lays flat in a certain way, it just grows that way. I have clients who have my hair, for instance, I forgot which way it grows, but in the front of my hair, it just lays flat. That's just the way that it grows. So my over direction, I would be going the opposite way of the growth pattern, right? But yeah, over direction basically means that you are, especially in the crown, you're styling it to go that way. So that way when you flip it over, the way that you're going to wear your hair down, or maybe you're wearing your hair the other way. Basically, you want to go against the way that it naturally wants to fall. So that way when you flip it back or do whatever you do, however you're styling your hair, it's a little bit more voluminous. Okay, is this hair over directed? Yeah, this hair is over directed right here. So this hair, it naturally wants to flip that way, we styled it this way to go that way to create a little bit of wave. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense right now, but basically flip your head upside down, okay? Or if your hair grows flat this way, blow dry it that way. I feel like I'm not exactly explaining over direction correctly. But you guys know what I mean, right? Right? Yeah, I think I made myself clear. Make everything exaggerated. If you're curling your hair, right? Curl it up so that way, like over direct it up so that way you get a little bit more volume as opposed to just holding it straight down and then curling it that way. This is like me trying to explain over direction without actually doing it. And I am a visual person. I'm the type of person where I have to like show you, or I have to draw a picture, or I need somebody to draw a picture for me in order for me to grasp it. But I hope that I'm making sense. The next tip for thin hair is to be gentle with your hair. Be as gentle as possible, okay? Like, do not, if you have like a knot in your hair, like don't just like pull the brush through like aggressively, like work through it, okay? Oil your hair first, start from the bottom and detangle that way. Don't aggressively like wash your hair. And then also when you're washing your hair, you want to wash your scalp. Don't like rub your ends, you know? And actually I have a video coming. Actually, I already filmed a video for how to properly wash your hair. Also, do not use high heat on your hair, okay? If you already have thin hair, then your hair for the most part is probably going to be more in a fragile state just like naturally. So you don't need to go hard with like using a lot of heat. Like even if you have like more coarse hair, I feel like you can be a little bit more gentle with it, okay? Because like that heat is going to penetrate through just because your hair is not that dense as it is. So if you take, for instance, like a strand, a piece of your hair to like curl or blow dry like on somebody whose hair is thick, then you might use a higher heat versus somebody whose hair is like not as high density because it doesn't need to pass through as many strands. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But basically, be gentle with your hair. So like I said, I have 5 tips and then a bonus 6th tip, you guys. Now, my last tip, for those of you ladies out there or guys who have thin hair, this is a bonus. If all else fails, we live in a wonderful time right now. It's a wonderful time to be alive in many ways. In some ways not, but I like to look at the glass half full. And the glass half full to me is the fact that we have hair extensions. The technology nowadays is amazing, okay? So if all else fails, do not be afraid to use extensions. I personally wear clip-in extensions from time to time, like if I'm going to an event or like a wedding, you know, like things like that. Clip-in extensions are amazing, but then also if you want to get like some real extensions that you don't have to like clip out at the end of the night, then if you have thin hair, I personally suggest getting tape-in extensions. These are done by a professional. But I've actually seen YouTube videos of girls doing it at home. But basically a tape-in extension lays flat on your scalp, or not flat on your scalp, but flat on the strand close to your scalp. So that way it's better for people with thin hair because it lays flat on the scalp as opposed to like little beads or wefts or anything like that that may show through the layers of your hair. So tape-in extensions are amazing. And like I said, with the technology today, I mean, the sky is the limit, okay? The sky's the limit in the look that you can create. And I always have a theory in my head, okay? I have a theory that you can create whatever look for yourself that you want to create. Like whatever color you want, you can have it whatever length you want, whatever haircut, whatever hair texture you want, you can create that. You might just have to take a different route to get there than somebody else. Does that make sense? Like somebody with like more coily hair, for instance, is going to how do you get like a nice like fro? You like wash it and you pick it out, right? And some people might have to get a wig. Okay, so I believe that anybody can have any kind of look that they want. You just might have to go a different route. And if you do have to go the route of getting extensions or wearing a wig or anything like that, there is nothing wrong with that. Like I said, the technology today is amazing and there are some amazing products out there and some amazing stylists, right? All right, so that is it for this video. I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video that I am actually looking for hair models for videos right now. So when I was writing down my idea for this video, I was thinking like, oh my gosh, I should just show this on a model. But I did want to like sit down and like say all my tips first. And then I was like, well, if anybody, as opposed to like waiting for somebody to reply to get a model and like go through all that first and then upload for you guys. So you get 2 videos out of it. So if you're watching this and you have thin hair, then send me an email. My information will be down below if you would like to come in to the salon. Again, it's in Los Angeles. If you want to come in and be in a video, then yeah, email me, hit me up, because I know you guys miss those videos that I used to do in my little studio that I had, and so I want to get back into doing the in-salon hair videos. Again, looking for hair models, you do have to be 18 or older. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me stay on YouTube, okay? It helps me, yeah, be able to continue to do this, right? I'm here, I'm giving free hair education, so please help me out just by subscribing and giving me a like. That's all you got to do. Is free. All right, join my hair group on Facebook. That's Hair Culture, but links to everything will be down below. And if I'm not here, I'm on Instagram. That's it for now. You guys will see me in my next video, and then I will see you guys in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.